Hey everybody, welcome back again to the AD&D second edition channel. I've just got my recent pickups, just a few items I wanted to show here just so things don't get a little bit too backlogged or backpiled or whatever you like to call it. First thing up here I just picked up off of eBay just because I saw, and I can't even remember now who I saw this, like they had a video on it, but I can't remember who I actually saw these from. Just because it was so long ago, because it takes a while for these to get from Russia. But you know, I like my Technolog minis, so I picked up these four like orc type ones, and I think they're very much modeled after those Dark Knights that I got before. Like this one here is very similar with the axe over his head, and there's also one that looks very similar to this, I think, from that line. So they might be very similarly based, but still kind of cool. You could use these, you know, for like gigantic ogre types or whatever. So I thought these were pretty cool. What I'm going to do though is I'll get these on the turntable and you can get a really closer look at them. First brute we're looking at here has a very menacing club that he's wielding. I think there's a lot of detail here on this particular mini. I mean, if you take a really close look at it, you know, the belt has a lot of detail. You can definitely see the difference between the leather armor and like the undercoat. Underneath the arm, although you may not be able to see it here, that is a little bit flat. These Technolog minis seem to have that issue, but otherwise you can see like there's veins on their muscles. There's just about every little kind of detail that's there that you could definitely embellish on this one. Next up we have the one that's holding a gigantic sword. Really cool looking mini. It's going to need a little bit of touch up in the way that you can see on the bottom of his loincloth that there's a little bit of leftover material there that have to be clipped off. But again, I've seen worse as far as mold lines go, and there's a lot of detail here. Maybe not so much on the back of the mini, but I do like the details on the shoulder pads with the extra spikes and everything. I think this will be an excellent mini to, you know, work with. Next up we have the mini that has the axe over his head. I think this is very similar to one of the Technolog minis I've looked at before, where it was sort of like the undead warriors. This one's really cool. I like the skull feature that's sort of hanging off the front of him in front of his loincloth. Really kind of neat. Again, the back is a little bit bland. I think there is some detail there, but it seems really flat, and sometimes it's difficult to paint those flat features a little bit, but we'll see what happens when we get to the painting on this one. I do like the axe, and there is a lot of detail in the fact that the axe is like really rough on the tip, so it would make it really look authentic. I think this is a great mini if you're looking for one such as this. And then finally we have the one that is using a shield, which I think is pretty cool. Just to see it, you don't usually see too many square shields like this, so I think it's a nice feature. I'm really drawn to it. As far as the other aspects of it, again, there's lots of detail here to pick out. I think that the shoulder pads on this one may be a little bit flat, but again, you know, for the price, you get what you pay for, and these ones definitely you're getting the most bang for your buck. So overall, I like these minis all around. What do you guys think? You let me know in the comments below. Next up here we've got some dice that I picked up from the Value Village sitting on the rack. Pretty cool deal right here. You can see it says $4 a bag, but really wasn't $4 a bag. It was a little bit less because I used a 20% coupon to get 20% off of these. So it ended up with tax being just a little bit over $10 for the 3 bags, which I think is a pretty good deal for dice. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to rip all these open. I'm going to sort them because you can see, if you take a look, you can see like there's some colors here that are in here and so on. So I'm going to see how many sets, or if they're full sets or anything like that. And once I sort it, we'll get back to it. All right, so after a bit of sorting here, we can see I've got 7 sets that are complete over on this side, and just like some sort of incomplete sets. This one's missing one here. We're missing, I think, 2 here. Let me see. Yeah, we're missing 2 here. Whole bunch there, like 3. Then you got a couple of D20s here that don't have any partners, and a D4, which kind of looks like one of those ones you'd color in with crayon. Unfortunately, the tips are all broken off. It looks like somebody like took a chunk out of it, so I don't know what they were thinking when they did that, but that kind of ruined that dice. But other than that, that's a pretty good deal, I think, for $10. I don't think I could get that 10 sets or 7 sets of dice and some randoms shipped to my house for that kind of price. So pretty good deal. I kind of like these ones here, kind of really neat, I think, and a couple other colors I'm kind of interested in. Probably this blue because it's one of my favorite colors. But really, just any usable dice is kind of a wonderful thing to find. So now I have some more dice to add into my dice sets and lots of variety to choose from, that's for sure. And the last item here is pretty cool. I picked this board game up. It is Heroes Quest. It is not in the best of condition, that is for sure. There's a huge hole right here in the box. So this is from, I believe, I'm trying to think now, I think it was like the 90s. This one's from, but I'm trying to even figure out if it's all in here. I don't know that necessarily for sure. So there's that, but you can see like there's a little bit of something there, like it might have got wet, or it's just dusty maybe. I don't know. I have to clean that up. I'm really torn on this one because there are quite a number of miniatures in this board game, like quite a number. So you can see there's quite a ton of them. They're not the most detailed, I don't think, but still they'd be totally serviceable for critters and everything. But at the same time, this board game's kind of worth a bit of coin. I was thinking maybe of parting it out, but at the same time, I'm sort of torn between that because it has a lot of these like pieces of furniture or whatever that are pretty cool. You know, I'd probably take the cardboard part off and build my own like sidewalls to each thing, but they're pretty neat. And what do you got here? I mean, some of them are just like tables, so you'd have to, you know, fabricate that part of it. But here's like a really cool, what do you call that? Like a sorcerer's table kind of thing. And what else do we have? There's a variety of different ones. Some of them are the same, but you've got, you know, what is this called? Like a rack for weaponry. You've got a tomb of some kind. You know, there's a hearth for a fireplace. And there's one more that was really cool. And of course, now I'm looking for it in here. Oh, an alchemist type table. Really neat. There's a chair right there. I mean, there's just like a ton of different stuff here. And there's also like a torture rack, which I can't seem to... Oh, there we go. And then there's like a torture rack kind of thing right there. So I'm sort of torn on this one because I think I could probably part it out and make a little bit of money off of it. But at the same time, I'm like, it's got minis. It's got all these like really cool like set pieces. Maybe I should just repurpose them. But it's almost like at the same time, I'm... You know, because this is such a, I don't know, not collectible, but just, you know, somebody would be interested probably in completing theirs. It kind of, that's why I'm torn. Like, I just don't want to like end up pilfering it for D&D. That's my problem with it. I'm not going to play it as is. I'm not really interested in playing this particular game. So maybe it'd just be better off in somebody else's hands. I don't know. You guys let me know. What do you think of that idea? Is it worth, you know, pilfering, or should I be, you know, trying to salvage it and, you know, help someone else to complete their copy of Hero Quest if they're missing pieces or whatever. But that's everything I got for you this time around. Thanks again for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do feel free to thumbs up this video, comment down below, and I'll see you all later.